traveling gurus. How are you guys doing today? Okay. It's your girl, come on. If you're new to the channel, if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. If you are a day one, y'all know how we do here, okay? So in this channel, my loves, we study energy, archetypes, and patterns and symbolism, right? Because we have learned that you are not just supposed to master your zodiac sign, aka the month that you were born, right? You're also supposed to master all 12 wheels, all 12 signs of the zodiac. You're supposed to master all 12 of them because they're all 12 different aspects of your psyche, okay? Your inner world, your inner man, your inner woman, okay? Now, with that being said, we kicked off the week where I have to really reintroduce you to these energies. I got to teach you the archetypes and the patterns, right? Because a lot of you think that because let's say it's Pisces, we're only in Pisces season. That is not how this energy works, baby, okay? Every day from Monday through Saturday, or actually from Sunday through Saturday, each day is governed by a planet, okay? Which means the energy changes each day energetically within the signature, okay? And then we also have the moon, which switches signs every 2.5 days. So every 2.5 days, the emotional energy in the collective, okay, everybody on the earth is affected every 2.5 days by the moon's energy, all right? So because today is Tuesday, when we're recording this video, we are going to tap into the energy of Mars. Tuesdays are ruled by Mars, okay? And Mars's energy, just so you know, if you are not an Aries or a Scorpio, right? We're talking about energy that's going to show up in your day-to-day life, your reality. It's going to play out as energy of taking action or asserting yourself, right? So it might show up like energy of competition, energy of being in survival mode, energy of stepping into your strength, energy of having courage and boldness. Maybe even energy of anger or fighting. Everything is a fight, right? Okay. It could also show up as energy. I want to even say of conflict, right? Because Mars is the planet of war, but it's also the planet of passion. So it's really like where you are energetically in your own internal walk of how this energy is going to play out in your experience, okay? Now, because Tuesdays are ruled by Mars, right? Mars rules 2 signs. We're talking about Mars rules Aries and it also co-rules Scorpio, right? So within Tuesday, you have 2 dominating aspects that's playing out in your energetic field. And I'm not even tapping into where the moon is right now. We're just talking about how Tuesdays play out in your day-to-day experience energetically, okay? And we're going to take a look at that, y'all, okay? So, we know we started off the week where you were supposed to step out boldly into confidence, okay? And then we also knew that you were supposed to man your emotions, right? To forgive, but don't forget, right? You're not supposed to hold on to things. You're not supposed to be in the spirit of resentment, the spirit of anger, the spirit of frustration. Not that you can't be mad or sad, but you cannot allow that energy, vibration to be the one that dictates how you take action and how you assert yourself, okay? Just so you know, all right? So here we go. We are going to go ahead and tap into the energy of Mars's. This is your personal planet's energy of how you assert yourself, okay? Or how you take action in the world, all right? So if you're not a Aries or a Scorpio, this is going to show up as how you take action in the world and how you assert yourself, okay? All right, so if you know, grab your water, okay? We charging no water. Now, I also think we should introduce the 3rd tone of love today, because we've been working with the first 2 tones, right? And the first 2 tones of love was safety and trust. And I think we need to go on and we need to introduce the 3rd tone of love. Okay. Hold on one second, y'all. Mm. Okay. Okay, so energetically, just so you guys know, we are going to be pulling from our mystical Martian deck today to clarify the energy in the atmosphere. All right. Now, you are going to hear four tones. All right. The first tone that you're going to hear is going to be for the fire element. The reason why we are sounding off in the fire element first is because I need you to understand that your fire element represents your willpower, and it also represents action and movement. Okay? Now, that is very important in how you are moving energetically in these times. How you take action in your movement is important in how we are moving energetically in this time. All right? So, for over a month now, we have been working on the first two tones of love, which was safety and trust. Okay? And that was the brainstem energy, your vagus nerve. This is really about your fight or flight senses, okay? Now, in the third tone, we are dealing with energy of stability, okay? And the place in the body that this is going to show up as is going to be in your solar plexus, okay? So solar plexus energy deals with your emotions, relationships, and the people in the relationships where change is needed, all right? So first tone you're going to hear is fire sign. Okay, or fire element. So if you're not an Aries, if you are not a Sagittarius, and if you are not a Leo, then this is going to play out in how you take action, how you assert yourself in the world, and your willpower and determination, or therefore lack of it, okay? Second tone is going to be for your emotions, okay? Water element. If you are not a water sign, which is going to be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, this energy is going to display your emotions, your intuitions, and your feelings, okay? All right. Third tone is going to be for air element. If you are not an air sign, which is going to be Gemini, it's also going to be Libra, and then it's going to be Sagittarius. No, I'm sorry, Aquarius, okay? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. If you are not Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, this is going to show up in your experiences, your thoughts, your thinking, your deductive reasoning skills. That's how that plays out, okay? And last but not least, you're going to hear the sound for the earth tones or the earth element, all right? So if you are not a Taurus, if you are not a Virgo or a Capricorn, this is going to show up in your experience as the physical, tangible things, the money, the car, the house, the job, that type of stuff, okay? Now, the reason why I'm breaking it down like this to you guys is because you are responsible for mastering all 12 aspects of your psyche, not just your sun sign or your moon sign or your horizon or any of that, right? Everything is energy, okay? And if you can find the archetypes and the symbolism and the patterns in the energy, you're able to navigate this chaotic mass psychosis that we're going through all over the world, okay? First tone, fire energy. Now, keeping in mind, we're also charging our water with the vibration of trust, safety, and the third tone, stability. And just so you know, stability, if you're dealing with it in color codes, right, that's going to show up as the color orange. That's just another little tip for you, all right? So if orange shows up in your experience as you're moving forward, just know that that's kind of like pattern recognition or archetype recognition. Orange has to do with you feeling stable as well as you trusting your gut. So this is sacral chakra energy. This is relationships, the change that needs to happen in relationships, and the emotions connected to those relationships, okay? All right, next tone is going to be water. Next tone is going to be air. Next tone is going to be earth. And all of those tones felt very, very clear. Very, very clear. Very, very clear. Okay? All right, let's see energetically what we got going on in the atmosphere. All right. Now, just so you know, this reading, we are tapping into the collective energies of Mars, the message coming through from Mars, all right? And how this message is going to be playing itself out right now in the current energy is going to be playing out through Aries, and it's going to be playing out through Scorpio, because these are the signs in which Mars rules, okay? But I also want us to take on the other energy that's in the atmosphere right now. We need to also look at where Mars is placed right now, because that's going to also make a big difference, okay? Mars is in Aquarius right now, so let's pull that energy out too. We're going to tap into that energy. Remember, Mars is how you show up. Mars is your survival. Mars is whether or not you're going to walk away, right, with the Scorpio energy, because you know you see what people don't see, or whether you're going to be big petty in this Aries energy, okay? Whether you're going to be big petty in Aries energy, you're going to be revengeful in Scorpion energy, right? Or you're going to read people their rights and let people know they're not so smart with the Aquarian energy. So let's take a look and see what Mars is saying to us, all right? All right, so we're thankful that we are here. Give us the energy for our greatest and highest good, okay? Energy for motivation, inspiration, confirmation, understanding, overstanding, and understanding all together, right? We also are just going to shelf what we don't understand in case we need to circle on back, okay? So give us the energy. What does Mars want us to know through Aries? What does Mars want us to know through the energy of Aries? What is Mars telling us through the archetype of Aries? What is Mars telling us through the archetype of Aries? All right. You got the Sirians energy popping up, all right? What is Mars trying to tell us through Scorpio? What is Mars energy trying to tell us through Scorpio? How are we taking action and assorting ourselves through Mars using Scorpio's energy? Oh, shit, this is a lot of cards. And that's Aquarius. We're going to take the jumping cards, okay? We're going to take the jumping cards. Okay, first of all, let's just talk about energetically what's going on with Aries. And we're going to take a look at your energy, then we're going to take a look at the energy surrounding you also, okay? This is important. Now, I want to say this, you know, Aries' energy, just off the back, you can find that Aries' energy can be considered like the eternal teenager. This is energy where you may sometimes not have all of the details, but you have the bigger picture. So you may react before you have all of the information, or you may take action before you think of all of the little details, okay? So you may not be thinking about details when you're taking action with this Aries energy, okay? When the Sirian card shows up in reverse, we want to understand and recognize this energy is saying that there's some disloyal energy popping up here, okay? There is some repressed emotions showing up here. There are energies of maybe somebody concealing something. This is energy of non-committed energy. This is energy of maybe commitment phobia, right? Or somebody just aloof. You are not self-aware in this energy, and this is energy of indifference. Now, they're saying in the air collectively right now, you got energy of people being wrong and strong. What Mars is saying to you right now is you got energy of people being wrong and strong, okay? You also got the Alpha Centaurian energy and the great energy popping up. Remember, we're talking about archetypes here. We're talking about what these energies represent, okay? So we know we have energy over here with people being wrong and strong. We know that, right? We also know that Mars has to do with taking action. So when somebody's wrong and strong, they're not thinking necessarily about the consequences. They're not even thinking about whether or not taking accountability for anything. They're not thinking about taking accountability for anything, right? So not only are they not thinking about taking accountability for anything, They're very scatterbrained with this Alpha Centurion energy here popping up in reverse. This is somebody that, oh, what song is popping up in my head? I'm not a player, but I just crush a lot, right? This is somebody that's operating without, and I don't even want to say a full deck. This is somebody that's operating without accountability. This is somebody that's operating where they're not thinking strategically, right? This is somebody that's not operating with integrity. This is somebody that's not thinking strategically. This is energy of somebody thinking that they can take shortcuts, right? This is somebody thinking that they can even circle back and manipulate you and to get you to doing what they want you to do, thinking that you don't forgot that this is you know, you really like this. You really like this. So this person is showing up, especially with this card, the gray showing up in reverse. When the gray show up in reverse, this is a free spirit. This is somebody that seems flexible. This is somebody that, I want us to have that conversation, right? I want us to have that dialogue. I want us to take action in the right direction. But I'm on some bullshit. I'm on some bullshit. Now, Aquarius's energy is saying, I know you're not coming with your bullshit, right? I know you're not coming over here with your bullshit. No, we're not going to do that. And not only we're not going to do that, right, because I know you're lying, right? Alpha Draconian energy in reverse is energy that shows up as like, I want to make amends. I want to make amends. I want to make amends. Right? And we have retrograde energy coming up, right? Today, as we have stepped into the energy of Mars, there's energy here of somebody coming in like they want to make amends, but they still are not taking full accountability for what they're doing. Usually, right? This is good energy right here. When these two cards are in reverse, when you have the grays and the Alpha Draconian in reverse, this is good energy in reverse because that means this person's been doing their work, right? And I would say that's good. But the problem is this energy is paired with this, the Alpha Centurion's energy. And when this card is in reverse, this lets me know they're on some bullshit. That lets me know. So you still have energy of people taking action in bullshit. Have not done the work. Now here's the issue, right? Because they on some bullshit, this is the person that's going to come in all nice and soft and warm and lovey-dovey. And the minute you don't respond energetically, whether it's emotionally, mentally, verbally, or giving them what they want, they finna pop off on you. They're going to do that quick up change. What they call it, the switch up. They're going to do that switch up on you. They're going to do that switch up on you, right? Somebody energetically, and now, my lovely gurus, if this is you, you got some work to do. If this is you, that means you operating by fear, you got some work to do. If this is you, you over here with Scorpio's energy saying, I really forgive you, but bitch, no, I don't. I'm just waiting till I can get my get back, right? Because Scorpio is good like that, right? Now would be a good time for me to introduce the ruling energy of Scorpio, which is Pluto, transformation. And if a person don't transform, what happens? They just stay stagnant in that energy, right? So you got a choice whether or not you're going to transform and die to the old version of you, right? That could cuss a bitch out, that anybody could get it, right? Or am I going to mature and take accountability for my portion of it, right? So here's just how this could play out, right? They coming in here with, I'm sorry, we need to really talk about this, but they don't feel sorry for shit that they did. They don't feel sorry for shit that they did. They don't. They do not feel bad. The only thing they feel bad about is that they can no longer manipulate you the way that they want to, energetically, emotionally, or mentally. I keep telling y'all, people are not doing emotionally well and mentally well in this energy because a lot of people are not doing their work. And especially if you were born from 2000 on down, anybody that's, especially with 2000 on down, from 2001 all the way up to 2026, I'm going to tell you right now, you got a lot of emotional fucking people walking around here with those 2000s because I told y'all about them twos. I told y'all about them twos. Once we switched over from 1999 into the birth energy of 2000, there was no more grounded mental energy coming back into the field until 2003 hit, until 2006 hit, and until 2009 hit, because those 3 years are where the mental energy lies, in the 3s, the 6s, and the 9s, right? So if you got years where people just born like 2001, right? You got 2002. Then you got 2004. Then you got 2007. Then you got 2008. Then you start again with 2010 and so on and so on and so on. Those are missing those 3 digits. So you don't, all you got is pure emotional energy and physical energy, practical doing energy, right? Autopilot energy and a lot of emotional energy. There's no grounding energy. There's no critical thinking energy. There's no deductive reasoning skills energy, right? That's very limited with people that was born started from 2000s. Now, that's not a wrong thing, because that wave of energy was coming in to bring more compassion and more sensitivity to the change that we have happening now. But the problem is a lot of people is not grounded. We got the Tower card facing the future. And I'm gonna be, it feels like with this Tower energy, somebody is fighting change so hard. Somebody's fighting change so hard. And because this is showing up between the bridge of Aries and Scorpio's energy, and we know that we're dealing with Tuesday, Martian energy, Mars energy. Mars represents taking action and how you assert yourself, right? We know that somebody was avoiding making this change. And I want to say, like, purposely. I feel, so gurus, this is your energy. We're going to clarify this tarot card because this is your energy. Gurus, I feel like my lovely gurus. Energetically, I feel like you were moving with love and integrity in this situation until you realize they don't give a fuck. Until you realize they selfish as hell. Now, I want to say for some of you, this could be until you realize you the fucking hypocrite in this situation. Because for some of you, this is not a different person outside of yourself. For some of you, this is you needing to work on the fuck, your work, your shadow work. Clarify the Tower card. Again, 3 of Wands coming out towards the future, right? Because you have delayed this change, right? And we're reading gurus. This is your energy, right? This is your energy here, guru, okay? Now remember, place the energy where it needs to be fit, because we're finna pull the opposite energy too, but I'm picking up your energy and pulling for your energy here, guru, okay? Because you were resisting the change. And I feel like, you know what, let's do this. I feel like you were resisting the change because you care. Remember, okay? Or maybe even that this had to do with stability. Okay, here we go. Because we just brought that third tone in, right? We just brought that third tone of love in, which is stability, okay? Look at this orange, okay? Remember, stability got to do with orange. You're finna pull out these cards and see. We're gonna see, why were you holding back and making this change? Why was my wonderful gurus holding back and making this change? You know you needed to make this change. You know this person is selfish as hell. Why was my gurus holding back? We got masculine energy showing up here, but we also have messages coming in. Masculine energy has to do with your reasoning skills, your deductive, your logical skills. This has to do with even protective, you know, provide energy. Clarify dreams. I feel like maybe you were protecting somebody or felt like you were protecting somebody, right? Or really felt maybe you can work whatever this out. I feel like you were willing to have a conversation with this person. You were willing to sit down and talk it out. You were not even in your feelings about this. You know, like you were willing to be the bigger person, maybe, and let's have a conversation about this, right? Let's have a conversation about this. You was willing to be the bigger person to let's have a conversation about this, right? But if you're dealing with somebody that strategically, like they know what they're doing, and strategically, you know that they're disloyal. Strategically, you know that you can't believe shit that this person says, right? Because the only they can't commit to anything. Not only do you know that it's loyal, you know that they walk around not really telling you how they feel. So you thinking you have a conversation with them about what's really going on, how they feeling, and you're walking away thinking that this shit is resolved, but they haven't resolved it. It's not resolved because they have not been telling the truth and they have not let it go. And you've been holding on, maybe wanting to have an adult talk, an adult conversation. So I feel like the Tower card and the Three of Wands, especially with the Three of Wands pointing towards the future here, right? You don't foresee this unfolding with the future. Even when you look at even when you look here at the Tower card, although you may have been holding on to maybe not wanting to pull the trigger on this, right? I feel like you may have even given this person some time to grow the fuck up, to mature. I feel like you may even have said, I could see my part in this situation, right? Water energy, this is emotional energy. Pisces, right? Pisces is how you understand the situation, what you believe the situation to be. Cancer is how you feel about whatever the situation is, right? And Scorpio is the intensity in which this situation is going to be pushed forward and the transformation, right? So what is this saying to me is that you may have got out of your feelings really to deal with whatever this was. Like you got out of your feelings. Like you wanted to have that adult conversation. You got shadow side and you got limitations. I feel like even though you were scared, like you knew you had to do the work and you wanted to have this conversation. Okay, see, I can't fucking make this shit up. You wanted to have this conversation because you know your growth, your internal growth, your spiritual growth, your mental health, your fucking emotional health depends on you setting these boundaries and having these type of fucking conversations. The action that you've taken here is to be mature about this shit, right? Remember, Mars is war energy, but Mars is also passion energy. Mars is also energy of survival. Mars is also energy of you being bold and courageous. Mars is going to execute and get shit done. Now, let me just drop some wisdom here for you. In the Art of War, like, you know, the book, The Art of War, right? The master of war never have to send in a troop. A ground war where you have people on the front lines fighting is the last step that you have to take in the art of war. There's so many levels before you get to the actual war, ground fighting, you know, sending out your troops, sending out the cavalry, right? In the art of war, it's mental chess. And if you can mentally win a war and you don't have to lift a motherfucking finger, this is what you've been doing with your own internal work. You have literally been doing the art of war. You've been seeing yourself. You've been facing your fear, facing your limitation. You've been taking action to do what you need to do. And the problem that's happening right now is you're not saving space for anybody in your situation that's not showing up doing their work. I don't give a fuck who you are. Mama, son, brother, sister, lover, husband, co-worker. I don't care who you are. You're not finna show up in my experience and take more than you give. Let's take a look at the energy around you, why you feeling and you moving the way you're moving. Because you know the energy's behind you. And you know, and I really want to say, my lovely soul traveling gurus, like shout out to you for doing your work, especially when it's not easy. See, everybody talk about the glow and the glow up and the shine, but don't nobody see the parts of you when you're sitting up in your motherfucking dark place crying. Don't nobody see when you wake up in the days, that you don't, like literally the only thing that you probably could do is brush your teeth, right? And don't nobody see the days when you get up and you got to talk to yourself 1,000 times and remind yourself 1,000 times in the day that you're worthy and that you got this, right? Don't nobody show up in the time when you have to deal with your own shame, your own guilt, your own disappointment, your own expectations that you place on other people. I'm telling y'all something, baby. When you start to do your spiritual work and spirits start to say, oh, you a hypocrite because you just blamed this person for doing that, but you just did that just now. So how you want to hold somebody accountable for something when you just did the same thing? Well, okay, granted, you may not have done it in the way or expressed it the way that they did, but my love, you still did the same thing that you accused them of doing, which makes you a fucking hypocrite, right? So when you go for the dark night of the soul, you start to understand that everybody out here really doing the best that they can. Right? Everybody out here doing the best that they can. No matter how fucked up a person is, you can only do the best that you can with where you are energetically, emotionally, and mentally. Right? There's levels to this shit. Right? But because you're doing the best that you can, and the best that you can do is some fuckery, some grimy shit, where you lying, where you coming and lying and wanting to manipulate me out of my energy, because I remember and I know that my energy is my currency. And we know currency in the fiat system, and we know it is money, and we know that my money is connected to my moon's energy, my emotional energy. Bitch, go sit down somewhere. Go sit your ass down somewhere. Go sit down. Go sit down. Come circle back when you've done walk through your shit. And let me just tell you right now, we have stepped into a year energetically where a lot of people is going to be transitioning because they cannot deal with the emotional and mental collapse that we have happening right now. Okay? I told you I want to jump back on social media. You can't teach astrology the way you've been teaching astrology for all these years. Astrology is going to be expanded. Show me the energy that my lovely, wonderful soul traveling gurus is interacting with while they are pulling the trigger. They pulling the trigger. Y'all pulling the trigger and closing some stuff. That's too much cards. Your narcissistic energy, we not finna do that. Give me the energy that my wonderful soul traveling gurus have around them where they have to pull the trigger and make decisions to set their boundaries clear. And not to mention, y'all, we in retrograde energy. What energy does my wonderful soul traveling gurus have around them that's making them to make this decision? And I gotta be honest with y'all, right? Like, I'm at the point now where I come on here, I'm like, all right, Spirit, I really don't even want to be cursing so much. And, this is a lot of cursing. This is a lot of cursing. And you know what I heard? We filtering out who the message is from, who the message is not for. If the only thing you can take away from this message is my cursing, then this message is not for you. There are plenty of other readers on here that's going to give you what you need based on the level that you want. Okay? If you're really about your work, and you're really about understanding these mysteries, I'm going to teach you some things here. Because you see this shit every day on playing. When you turn on your TV and you see all of these beautiful color schemes, like they got rainbow. There's symbolisms in your movies. There's symbolisms in your book. There's fucking symbolisms in your conversation. So you are dealing with Queen of Wands energy and Queen of Cups energy. This is somebody that comes off like they got it all together. They know what they're doing, but this is somebody that's very emotionally immature, and I want to say even borderline, super energetically, emotionally manipulative, and very, and this person hits below the belt too. Like they do things purposely to hurt your fucking feelings. This person, I want to say, is very hurtful with their words. Very hurtful with their words. This person is selfish. This person is spiteful. This person is petty. And it fits because Aries could be big motherfucking petty. Aries could be big petty. Right? Look at all this orange in here. Look at all this orange. Remember we talked about that, right? What we talked about? Then we talked about orange is the new love tone that we're working on now. The third love tone. Orange is the color of the third love tone, which is stability. So let's take a look at this right here, y'all. Let's take a look at this right here, y'all. Come on with me, y'all. Let's walk through some things. Symbolism, orange, sacral chakra energy. Sacral chakra energy deals with the emotions. It deals with the relationships that you're in. It deals with the changes that needs to happen within those emotions of those relationships, okay? I ain't even say that right, so let me go ahead and repeat myself, okay? Sacral chakra energy deals with relationships, emotions, and the change that needs to happen in those relationships. That's what sacral chakra deals with. It shows up representing the color orange. If you look at this card, all of this orange glow right here, you've done your work. You've grown, right? This Queen of Wands energy that we have popping up here, this is somebody faking the motherfucking funk. There's a lot of fucking energy right here of orange that makes it look like they got shit all together, but baby, that's a lie. That's a lie. Miss me with all your bullshit. That's a lie. But I feel like this is also somebody that's very perceptive. This is somebody that pays attention to how people energetically move. Okay? I even want to go and say, like, you know, everybody got the narcissistic trait in them. You just got to water that shit for it to grow up full-blown narcissism, right? Everybody do that. Right? Everybody got a tendency where you can find yourself to be a little selfish, right? So we're not talking about being a little selfish. We're talking about being selfish to the point that you don't fucking take accountability for your shit. You're nasty as hell, right? And you're petty as hell. You're nasty and petty as hell. You're resistant, you're guarded, but you come in like you're not. You come in like you're not. See, you come in like you're free. You come in like you're free. You come in like you've been doing the work. They come in like they're free. They come in like they've been doing the work. Trying to siphon off of your energies, trying to siphon off of your wisdom. Trying to siphon off of your emotions, trying to siphon off of your mental, trying to siphon off of your physical situation. Whether it's your money, whether it's your house, you know, for some, your housing, for some people, it's just sitting in your presence because you are energetically grounded. Do y'all know that's a thing? Do you know that you can walk into a room and because you've been doing your work, you can energetically ground the room that you walk into? People don't understand it, but they just need to be in your presence and they can understand why they need to be in your presence. Have you ever gone to the supermarket and stood in line and somebody stands right next to you and you can feel that they're pulling from your energetic field? And it's like a moth, right, to the flame or to the light. So as soon as you move over to the left, they move with you. They don't even know they fucking doing it. They just do it. They don't even know energetically that they just drawn to your energy, but they just do it. I'm having a hot flash over here, y'all. Whew. Yep, they're very closed off regarding some resistance to any wisdom, any change, any type of knowledge, any type of help. If it's not done the way that they think it should be done, they don't want to be bothered. And they come in like they have it all together and they don't. They come in trying to talk about they telling the truth, they expressing themselves freely, you know. But they come in with that Mars energy on hot. On hot, on high, on hot, on high. But when they coming in with that energy of truth, guess what? They telling everybody else's so-called truth, but they're not telling their own. They quick to tell everybody else's truth, but they're not telling their own. They're not telling their own. All right. What does Scorpio want to see? Okay. Mars energy is saying, I'm asserting myself. Mars is saying, through Aries, I'm going to pull this trigger. I see the bigger picture. You not seeing the details. Scorpio's going to deal with the details. Right? Mars' bigger picture is I loved you. I cared about this situation. I was trying to be nice. I was being patient till maybe you saw yourself, but fuck that shit. Not only don't you see yourself, you're nasty with the shit. Disrespectful with your shit. But what you're not noticing is that I earned my wholeness. I earned everything that you being big mad at me for. I sat in the dark and did my cry. I sat in the dark and I took accountability. That's what I did. That's what I did. I did that. Okay. What is Mars trying to tell us through Scorpio? How are we taking action and sorting ourselves through Scorpio? What is Mars trying to tell us through Scorpio? How are we sorting ourselves? What is Mars trying to tell us through Scorpio? Now, mind you, right? The Grays are saying, oh, let's talk about this. You know, I'm ready to talk about this. I now see myself. But the Alpha Centaurians is like, no, I'm on my bullshit. I'm really not trying to hear anything you say. I just need to play like I understand what you're saying so I can get what I want. And what does Mars have to say today? What is Mars telling you to say to them? And let me just tell you, Scorpio is the energy right here. Scorpio is going to see your lies. Scorpio is going to see your bullshit. But Scorpios, I'm a Scorpio son. I'm going to tell you, we're going to see the lies, we're going to see the bullshit, but we don't always necessarily think that we got to let you know that you lying and that we know that you want some bullshit. As a matter of fact, I'm going to let you keep going until you fucking hang yourself. Right? And then by the time you hang yourself, you can look up and I'm not going to be nowhere to find because I'm going to ghost your ass and I've been gone and you didn't even know that I left. You just looked up one day and the energy and like it used to, right? Because you ain't siphoning no more. What does Mars have to say to my wonderful gurus on this Martian day? What do Mars have to say through Scorpio, Two of Cups? You know, I'm hearing two songs in my head. Back up on my bullshit, right? And I'm also hearing that song by Moonwalker, I'm Feeling Myself, right? Mars is saying the action that you need to be taking and how you need to assert yourself in this energy right now is Two of Cups energy. Harmony, partnership, reciprocal relationship. If it's not give and take, I don't want it. If it comes with me losing who I am emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, I don't want it. I don't care how much money you coming with. I don't care how much things you promising me. I don't want it. Right? Harmony and partnerships paired with the Fool card. Fool card in reverse lets me know that this is energy of somebody that's don't think before they speak. Somebody that's reckless with their behavior, right? Scorpio saying, you coming in with your reckless shit, and you on your reckless shit, and I'm on my harmonious shit, okay? And I'm gonna tell you once again, the action and how Scorpio is gonna move is like I'm finna be gone. You're not even gonna know that my ass is gone. What? Six of Cups energy, right? And I feel like energetically here you're saying you're not going to keep me stuck in regret. You're not going to keep me stuck in the past. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to 51st date my fucking self because I know you. I've seen this before. I'm not going to 51st date myself with you. Are you crazy? Okay. Okay. I'm not going to 51st date myself with you. Clarify why Mars is saying to us through Scorpio not to 51st date ourselves with this energy. Chemistry, this card came up in reverse, right? Which just lets me know this is an indication of you don't need to put passion. The chemistry is gone, right? The passion that you're putting into this, you don't need to put passion and energy into anything one-sided. Clarify chemistry and passion because we know that my lovely gurus are walking away and choosing harmony, no longer in denial. Yep. This also is coming in distance. I mean, reverse, right? Passion and chemistry is being paired with distance and time out. Man, you're walking away from it. There's a lot of water here. Water has to do with emotions, or lack thereof it. And the fact that these jumped out in return lets me know that you're no longer emotionally bleeding out. My wonderful gurus. You're no longer emotionally bleeding out. Okay? Give me the energy that you want us to know about, that Mars wants us to know about, that's moving through Scorpio. What is the energy that Mars wants us to know about, that's moving through Scorpio? You do not have to be a Scorpio to be going through this stuff, okay? Scorpio is the archetype in which is being used right now. You got Two of Wands energy, okay? Whoever this is, the Two of Wands energy is popping up, but it's popping up looking towards the past, okay? Somebody still, the energy that you're entertaining is still stuck in the past, and it feels like this person is still not taking accountability. I can't make this shit up. Four of Cups came out also facing the past, okay? And y'all know the Four of Cups energy, when I see this card, this is my come to Jesus, come to Buddha, come to Allah, okay? This is the energy where you got no choice but to stop and fucking think. Okay? So all of my fours, whether it's the Four of Swords or the Four of Cups, the Four of Swords and the Four of Cups is my come to Jesus moment, my come to Buddha, come to Allah. This is where you come to your inner self, right? But you're looking at this and they come into them inner selves, but they really not doing the work. Come on, three of Pentacles facing in the future. And can I just tell you something right here? I am not also amiss that we have 1, 2, what side that we got 2, 3, and 4. That's a sequence there. 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So you're dealing with energy of somebody here that's not trying to transform. Somebody here, right, that's not taking accountability for their own shit, right? This is energy here. Somebody's still living in survival mode, okay? And the interesting thing is if this person applies themselves and actually do the work, like they can have a beautiful experience, right? They can have a beautiful experience. So they looking for teamwork towards the future, but they giving bullshit. Knight of Pentacles popping out in reverse. They're giving you bullshit. That's because the storyline that they're telling themselves is not an accurate storyline from your perception, or maybe even from what really happened. It's not to say that you're perfect, and they're not. Pisces is how we're closing out the script. The script is ending. We begin a new script starting in Aries season, okay? Aries set the tone and the stage for the next 12 months. So now what we finna do is we finna wrap up Pisces. We finna wrap up this Pisces energy so we can learn what we need to move forward into this new energy coming up in Aries season. We deal with archetypes here on this channel, not sign specific. We're looking at the archetype of the energy that's coming out and how that plays out in our day-to-day experience. This person definitely be on some self-care shit. They think about self first. Nurture self first. Okay? They watch everything everybody else do, but they don't watch themselves. And even if they watching themselves, it's going to be me first. They feel the distance, though. They feel the distance. They do. They feel the distance. Feelings. They feel the distance. Okay. What do you want us to know coming on in? What does Aquarius energy telling us? What does Mars wants us to know through Aquarius, okay? Remember, Mars is how we take action and how we assert ourselves, right? When we're dealing with Aquarius energy, we're dealing with what you know. So Mars is going to now speak to us about how to move forward, taking action and being assertive with what we know. Okay? So instead of fighting, instead of arguing, instead of like, how do we strategically move with what we know? Right? And we already know that we're dealing with somebody that's on some bullshit, right? That much we do know. That much we do know. We do know that part, right? We do know that part. Okay? We do know that part. Now, we also know that this person is coming in like they got common sense. This person is coming in like they actually want to make amends. This is what we know. We know that that's what they coming in and they trying to say. Okay? But I want to go here first. Okay. How are we taking action and having assertion using Aquarius energy of what we know? Give me the energy surrounding my lovely gurus. What do we know about the energy surrounding my wonderful gurus? The Judgment card is popping up. And the Judgment card is popping up and it's popping up towards the future. Judgment card is Pluto's energy. We just talked about Scorpio with Pluto's energy, right? The Judgment card is popping up and the Judgment card is pointing towards the past. Okay? Clarify the Judgment card. But the fact that the Judgment card is pointing towards the past, it lets me know that something is being brought to the surface. All right? That has now come full-fledged. Okay? A seed was planted. Now that seed is maturing. Okay? Somebody got to pay energetically for what they put out. Okay? This is what you need to know. Energetically, the energy that's around you and the people that you may be interacting with, whether it's family members, co-workers, lovers, children, a spouse, parent, brother, sister, friend, foe. There's judgment season happening right here. Page of Wands is pointing towards the past, okay? This person was walking around very confident, I want to say, and they're back up on my bullshit energy, okay? This person is judging the energy for a new beginning, but they're looking towards the past for their new beginning. This person is looking towards the past for the... I can't make this shit up. I can't make this shit up. I cannot make this shit up. This is a Sun card. This is a Sun card. And I'm probably going to be sign specific here because we're going to get up into what some of these signs is looking at, because there's a lot of major arcana popping off here. All right, so I might get into the major arcana, but really I don't want you to get stuck in any particular sign. What I want you to tap into is the archetype energy that these signs move in. Okay? So this is what you know. Mars is saying to you, all right? All right, we know we got to take action. We know we got to assert ourselves in this energy, right? But here's what we know. We know that we're also interacting with energy where somebody feels like they want to, you know, with the Alpha Draconian in reverse, this lets me know that you're talking about you want to mend fences. You want to make amends, okay? You want to take accountability for your shit, right? But we know with the Judgment card and the Page of Wands popping up, we know that that's not necessarily true, but they coming in smiling and they coming in happy. They coming in with positive vibe. They coming in with the positive vibe. They surely is coming in with this positive vibe. Clarify the Sun energy. Clarify the Sun. And it really feels like they really think that y'all could start over on some new beginnings. Like you could forgive. And remember yesterday's energy when we tapped into the moon's energy was, I could forgive, but I don't forget. Eight of Pentacles pointing towards the past. This person is still practicing the same old tactic from the past in new energy. Seven of Wands. They are standing tall and they're wrong and strong. And like I said, it may not even be like they don't have a valid point. They could very well have a valid point. They could very well have a valid point. But the problem is they don't see their contribution to whatever the situation is. Okay, Mars, what do you want my wonderful gurus to know of how to move in this Aquarius energy with what they already know. Okay, because we already know here somebody's coming in. Oh, when we talk about it, oh, I want you to forgive me. Or they come in all nice, all loving, and they nice and loving for a couple of days. And after a couple of days, the minute you tell them no, or the minute that they don't get the response that they think they should get from you, they back up on that bullshit. Back up on that bullshit. Yeah, you're not even, listen, you don't lost your patience with this person. You don't even respond the way that you need to respond anymore because you see it all. And come on, Seven of Swords, and man, they literally fighting by themselves. They literally arguing by themselves. Okay? And can I just say, to me, this is even a Scorpio move. Like, listen. That's like a Scorpio move right there. Like, once we get to the point where we already know that you're on some bullshit and we know you fucking lying, man, we will just let you keep lying. You got the Temperance card in reverse. I feel like this Temperance card in reverse lets me know you've lost your patience with this person. You got the Four Swords in reverse. And once again, Four Swords is my come to Jesus, come to Buddha moment with the Four of Cups, right? You are burnt out and exhausted. Energetically, emotionally, mentally. And for some of you, if you're living with this person, like you've been hibernating maybe in your own little space. For some of you, like you've been locking yourself in your motherfucking room and you don't even come out because you don't want to deal with this person. For some of you, if this is a roommate situation where you share a space with this person, like you are physically, mentally, and emotionally burnt out. Some days you may not even want to fucking come home. What else Mars wants us to know? You are aware of any toxic patterns and anything that keeps you bound moving forward. You're not lying to yourself about that no more. And I feel like you're not making excuses for other people and they, see, yep, come on now. You're paying attention to what's true that you need to work on and what's a projection versus what's a reflection. Okay? You are no longer holding on to anything energetically that is not yours. Nothing emotionally that is not yours. Nobody can keep you hot. Oh, I can't make this shit up. You free. You freed yourself from this situation. You freed yourself. See, they back up on their bullshit, but you freed yourself from this situation. You freed yourself from this situation. I can't. Look at this. So this card jumped out, the Twin Flame, and you know this is my mirroring energy card, right? I don't have a black marker, do I? I don't have a black marker, but I need to write that on with a black marker. This is my mirroring energy card. My Twin Flame card is my mirroring energy card. So this jumped out, right? This jumped out as the energy that's in your atmosphere that you're dealing with. Twin Flames, this lets me know this is somebody that has taught you some things. This is something that was painful. Then when Twin Flame shows up, I call it mirroring energy. This is somebody mirroring energy back to you and you mirroring energy back to them. And it's usually energy of things that you need to grow and mature in, okay? Twin Flame energy is not a lovey-dovey energy. This is mirroring energy, okay? So Twin Flame energy jumped out, and at the bottom of the deck for your energy, you also have Twin Flame energy. All right? Twin Flame energy. This is somebody that was doing mirroring energy. This is somebody I feel like that learned you very well, you know? May have preyed on your kindness, may have preyed on whatever insecurities that you have, right? May even tell you you're the one that's being emotional, you're the one that's acting crazy when they gave you a reason to be emotional or to act a hot ass mess. Yeah. Just know that whoever this energy is, you've done the right thing by stepping away because it is time for them to reap what they've sown. Seed time and harvest time, baby. Keep that same energy. So the action that Mars wants you to know is you're moving forward, and this energy is very simple, y'all. You made the right decision. You made the right decision. People need to keep that same energy. The way that you move right now is the same energy. You need to be able to be receptive to what's good for you. You are aware of toxic patterns and boundaries. And you are aware that you no longer have to do anybody's work. It is not your responsibility to heal somebody. It is not your responsibility to save nobody. And that's what Mars wants you to know. It's okay for you to walk away. You don't got to save nobody. That's a message for Mars. You can walk away. You don't got to save nobody. It's okay to walk away. Your job is not to save nobody. Walk away. You can't save them. You can't save them. That's the message. Walk away. You cannot save them. You cannot. You cannot. You absolutely cannot. Remember, what's the message for Tuesday? We in Mars. Mars is energy. Okay, Tuesday's energy is governed by Mars. When Mars shows up in your experience, that's how you take action and how you assert yourself. Okay? Mars rules Aries and it rules Scorpio. But when you're looking at Scorpio's energy, you also got to throw in Pluto's energy's transformation. And I'm going to tell you right now, not everybody's fitness to transform. Not everybody's about this work and about this life. No. Okay? Walk away. You cannot save them. That is what Mars is trying to tell you. All right, give us the tone that Mars wants us to close this reading with. What is the tone that Mars wants us to close this reading with? Divine Feminine. Divine Feminine energy is the tone in which we are closing off this reading, is because you cannot save anybody, so you need to walk away. Okay? Divine Feminine, just so you know, is card number 21. 2 plus 1 equals 3. So we're talking about the number 3, which is on the conscious plane, right? So this is the plane of imagination. This is the plane, I want to say, where you can tap into your imagination. But this is also the plane where you can tap into your mental memory bank. Okay, 3 has to do with memory, and it has to deal with your imagination. Okay? There's a lot of pinks in this card, but there's always also hints of orange in this card. And remember, we introduced the third tone of love today, which is stability. We've been working on the first 2 tones for weeks now, which was love and trust. We've now introduced a third tone, which is stability, right? So we're talking about what does stability look like in your life, right? Does stability look like going back and forth with somebody when they don't think that they did anything wrong? Does stability look like always showing up energetically for people, whether it's emotionally or mentally, and when you need somebody to talk to or you need a shoulder to cry on, they're nowhere to be found? You know, does stability look like to you that you're constantly giving in relationships and somebody's constantly taking, right? That's not stability, right? Then you also need to ask yourself the question, what does stability feel like in my body? Remember, the way that we're paying attention to how our body is recognizing these energies is by relaxation and tension, okay? So, let's go over this so you can understand, right? The first tone that we've been working with for weeks was safety. And in safety, we talked about when something feels safe in your body, your shoulders go down and you are not tense. We talked about trust. How does trust feel in your body? When you trust something, right? Your shoulders go down, your stomach doesn't clench, right? There's no tension. What does stability feel like in your body? Is it relaxing? Is it peaceful? Does it make you melt? Or do you feel tension and resistance in your body? Tension is an indication of stress. Tension is an indication that something in your nervous system is overworked, underdeveloped, and needs immediate attention. Whether that's you breathing, whether that's you getting quiet and meditating, whether that's you removing yourself from the physical presence of the environment. Because some people, some environments you go into, you can't stay in that environment. Just the energy got you feeling fucking anxious. Divine feminine energy says the frequency of the divine feminine supports our receptivity, nurturing, and the soft side, allowing us to express, allowing it to express itself openly and helping us to connect to our intrinsic understanding of our connection with all creation. If something feels forced, where you got to force yourself to connect with somebody, you're not operating the divine feminine energy. Divine feminine energy does not force itself. It just is. It just is. This is how you can recognize your energy, that you walk into a room and you shift the energy of the room. Because it just is. And some people get jealous of you because of this energy. Now, if you are not aware of what this energy is, you can get stuck in toxic situations. You can get stuck in situations of projection, right? Divine feminine energy is an energy of birth given. It's an energy of creative energy. It's an energy that not only receives, but it gives. It's an energy that nurtures. It's an energy that allows free expression of your essence. It's an energy that is helpful, that is supportive. It's an energy that you understand that you're connected to all things. And sometimes when you understand you're connected to all things, you understand that you still have to set boundaries. So the boundary that you're setting right here in this energy, and what Mars is saying to you today, after, I don't even know how long we've been on this video now. I don't even know how long we've been on this video, okay? We over an hour. And Mars's message is simple. Walk away, you can't save them. Tap into your divine feminine energy. It's going to let you know when to move, when not to move, when you need to let go and walk the fuck away, and maybe when you need to help, right? As a parent, you know, as a parent, not everything, you can't run every time your kids come crying, right? You can't, especially the toddlers. Every time your child cries, sometimes it's not because they need your help. Sometimes it's because they're throwing a temper tantrum. Walk away. Walk away. You cannot save them. You can't save them. That's what Mars is trying to tell you as you're moving through this week. Walk away. You can't save them. Walk away. All right. On that note, my loves, y'all know the deal, right? You want to go ahead and you want to do something kind for yourself because you absolutely should. Yes, you should. Yes, you absolutely should. Okay. And you want to do something kind for somebody, not because you should, but because you can, okay? Now remember, happiness is contagious, confidence is contagious, laughter is contagious, okay? And being your true self is also contagious. It gives people the opportunity and the freedom to be themselves, okay? Don't forget to operate and set your boundaries, however, okay? Boundaries are not to keep people in. Boundaries are for you to understand where you begin and end and where somebody else begins and ends, okay? All right, my loves. I appreciate each and every one of you. And tomorrow is Wednesday. It's Mercury Day. It's all about communication. And we're going to tap in to see what communication feels like as we're moving through this energy and what Mercury has to tell us as we navigate the different archetypes and signs, okay? I love and appreciate every one of my wonderful soul traveling gurus. And I'm going to see you guys in your next video, okay? Transmission and message is over and out.